Hey, listen, do you hear that? It's maple tapping time. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. It's Season 2, Episode 37. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. With spring right around the corner, winter is releasing its grip ever so steadily. And that means cool nights, warm days that make the sap flow from the maple trees all across the Poconos. There are many ways you can experience the flavors of maple syrup produced right here in the Pocono Mountains, and one of those locations, a sprawling maple farm, perhaps the biggest in the state, hosted us for an upcoming segment on Pocono Mountains Magazine for March. Pocono Mountains Maple Farm at Lake Russell in the Newfoundland area. More on that in a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions of people, with 2,400 square miles of lakes, mountains, forests, and rivers. With historic downtowns and iconic family resorts, it's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. That's at PoconoTelevision.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Now back to the episode. Come the middle of March, there will be a chance to tour a lot of the maple producers right here in the northern Pocono Mountains. March 18th and 19th, there's a 2-day self-guided tour at various sugar bushes in Wayne County and the surrounding area, including Pocono Mountains Maple Farm. The new owners have big plans for the place, and we stopped by recently to see the huge operation tapping thousands of trees for hundreds of miles of tap lines. Nicole Bentler toured us around the property recently. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. It's your host, Jim Hamill here, and we are at Lake Russell. This place is so expansive, and I'm here with Nicole. Nicole, this is your place that you have taken so much care to bring about like an experience for people to come on out here during maple season. Right now you have how many trees tapped here, you know?
About 23 to 25,000.
That's all?
Every given year it changes a little bit.
And tell me then what this place is all about for what you guys do every season here. And this is really near Greentown, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Near Greentown. So every season, basically spring season, we start tapping trees. And we tap, like you said, about 23 to 25,000 trees. Every single one has a little tap that goes in it. So luckily I've got a really good team that does most of the hard work for us. And then when it's beautiful like it is today, we're pulling in sap and cooking it down and making fresh syrup from the Pocono Mountains.
And just a few miles long of tap lines, right?
About 350 miles of tapping.
Oh my gosh.
Like to say.
So 350 miles of tap lines.
Yeah.
And that's something that you guys have to go out there and do. It's not just like set up year round, right? That's an actual labor of love.
Yes, no, for sure. And we wholesale majority of our product, and we keep about 10% of it to sell locally. But yeah, it's a true labor of love. By the time you add in all the guys' hours and you know how much it costs for gas to all the expenses, you're like, oh my goodness. But the product is just so amazing, and I think, like we were talking about earlier, is just having that education behind it, and showing people this is what maple syrup is, and even maple water. Telling them a little bit more about maple water and what that is, and my background's kind of health and nutrition, so I'm kind of fascinated with obviously using natural sweeteners and things like that. So it's been great to kind of expand upon that knowledge base that I already have.
And we just came from an area where you can actually stay on the farm here and immerse yourself in what is a beautiful, expansive nature surrounding. You said the fall time here is amazing.
Oh, the fall is gorgeous. Yeah, you can't beat it. Sit around a fire pit.
Cabins, right? Like where you can have the family set up. You got bunk beds and all that.
Yeah, no, we've got family reunions that come in. We've had a 75th birthday for some locals. They stayed here for the whole long weekend. So it's been great, and you see that families get a really great opportunity to have some great quality time. As you see, it's very relaxed here, so there's you go sit by the lake, you read a book, you get to have some good talks with your family and play. We've got a playground up there. We've got swings kind of throughout the property that you can kind of play on. So kids absolutely love it.
And we're just coming up on something that looks relatively new. This is a boathouse?
Nope. So this is actually the boathouse is next.
No, boathouse is next. Sorry.
This is our main house. So this is the lake house here.
Oh.
So we do overflow. So if somebody rents the campground and they've got elderly people staying with them or just want the convenience of being in a house, you do have the opportunity to rent the lake house. This is actually here when we did it. There's a fun story behind it. So it started out actually as a pavilion, as you can see the octagon there. So it started off as a pavilion. They added bedrooms so that way they could stay over on the lake.
Yeah.
And then this section here, they added a kitchen. And then as the couple got a little bit older, they needed a bedroom on the bottom floor. So then they kind of added that extension. And then so the last 2 years, we've been completely under construction, redoing siding and the entire internal of the house. So about $2 million renovation, roughly. And it's still not done. We're still finishing the back deck, but it should be done. They tell me no later than the end of March. So. Okay.
All right. We'll hold you to it.
Yeah. So we'll have to have you guys come back. We'll do a tour of the lake house as well.
Yeah, because this episode will air the podcast in March, the Pocono Mountains Magazine episode in March. So that's really when you guys crank up that season of letting people come on out to the Sugar Shack and see how this process firsthand is done.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
Which days of the week do you guys have those open houses, if you will?
Generally, it's Thursdays and Fridays. Generally, if it's a larger group, we do recommend calling and reserving.
Right.
So that way we've got time to set aside. We are a family-run business, so, staffing is always a big thing, especially when it comes to, we've got 450 acres that are here. So there's always something that needs to get done. So there's not always somebody that's at the store or at the Sugar Shack. So calling ahead is definitely key, so that way you catch us and reserve your spot. But generally Thursdays and Fridays, all throughout March, we generally do tours for everybody.
And there's also the open house for the maple producers all throughout the region too. So you guys will be on that map as well for people to come here, go there, and kind of see different operations throughout the Pocono Mountains. Yeah. And that's really a great weekend trip for a family to do if they just want to get out in their own backyard and kind of see what's happening out here, especially as the weather breaks too.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And then we also have the orchard. The orchard's behind us.
Okay.
We've got about 250 apple trees roughly in there, cherry trees, peach trees. So in the fall, it's always fun to come, and we've got anyone that stays on property is more than welcome to go sit in the orchard and read a book. And we do make some cider that's here as well. So that's always fun.
What do you guys do here?
I don't know. I feel like we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We try to stay as busy as possible, but we have a lot of fun too. We enjoy being a part of the community. It's been great. So this is the new boathouse that we just put in.
It says boathouse.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty typical for me. All right. So that's definitely the boathouse, and it's spectacular for anybody listening here on the podcast. The visual, let's walk on down there. But the visual here is just so serene and placid. I really can't say that enough about what your property is like here, and obviously what you guys try to do for your visitors and your guests, and for the local area here.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming out. It's been great to kind of share it with you guys as well as, the community and as a whole. But it's beautiful. We love sharing the property, and it's fun when we get bigger groups from New York and, even youth groups from New York. And, they come in and, they've never been somewhere that's this quiet, that is this kind of remote, and they're just in awe. And then if they do a tour, like if it's during the summer and we've got the garden going, they get to go through the garden and pick their own vegetables, and the orchard, they get to pick their own apples, or if they come this season, they get to see the maple getting produced. So it's really kind of fourfold. So it's fun.
I would have to say, book us a stay here. We'll bring the Rugrats, or maybe we'll leave them at home, and really kind of just come out and that calmness, that peacefulness too. But just knowing that, okay, if I get tired of that, I can go do something. Yeah.
No, like I was telling you, Mohegan's like 20 minutes away, or not Mohegan, Mount Airy. Mount Airy Casino is 20 minutes away.
Right.
You've got Camelback, that's also about 20, 30 minutes away. So you're pretty close to, like, if you really want to go get out and do something, you can.
Yeah.
But we've also got 450 acres to go and explore and hike and have fun. Yeah.
I'm really taken aback. You know, I've traveled a lot of our Pocono Mountains here, and this is like kind of like this hidden gem, right? It's on a dirt road, right? And you have to get through GPS really to get here. But once you are here, I mean, look at what you have here. It's really spectacular. So
thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with all of us.
Yeah, no.
So people can find out more online. How can they learn more about Lake Russell here and what you guys have at the farm?
Yeah, following us on social media is always, key. That's how you know kind of what events we have coming up. We do try to partner with the community. Sometimes we do. We usually do a holiday open house where we'll have snowmaking contest. We'll do cooking, maple cooking classes as well. So definitely following us online on social. We also post on our website. We're in the process of kind of rebuilding and rebranding our website, but that'll be all up as well. So kind of following us that way, and then just contacting us if you guys are interested in, staying. We're kind of open. We actually have a couple people that are getting married this fall here.
I was going to say, this is almost like I can hear the wedding bells.
Yeah. And what's great is you can have your whole family stay here, have a really long week or weekend with your whole family and be able to kind of treasure those moments, and then, get married with all your friends and everything in the main field, along with, this looks very bare right now, but in the spring it's so green and gorgeous. And then, come, October, it's reds and yellows and oranges, and it's just really spectacular. So,
wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wildlife too. Like I was telling you guys earlier, we've got an eagle that comes through here almost every day.
That's amazing.
Hawks and birds and all kinds of deer, critters, all kinds of good stuff. There's a little red fox that usually runs.
Wow.
He likes to eat our chickens, though, so we don't like him as much.
Yeah,
but
that's the downsides of nature and wildlife, but
it happens.
At the same time, it makes things interesting.
Yes, exactly. There's always something happening here. Always.
Well, Nicole, thank you again for having us here on Pocono Mountains Podcast. Of course, people can check you out online on social media, and then, of course, on PoconoMountains.com.
Yeah.
And please come on out and visit the farm here. The Sugar Shack will be ready, and so will the store, as you can sample a lot of the tasty treats that they have here. Again, thank you for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. We'll be seeing you guys soon.
Thanks.
Pocono Mountains maple, including the gorgeous Lake Russell at the Bentler Farm. Learn more at PoconoMountains.com, and also visit during the Maple Producers Open House Tours March 18th and 19th. Find out more at PoconoMountains.com/events. The best stories come from people you know.
Hi, Jen and Brianna. Hello there.
And at the Pocono Television Network, we know the Pocono Mountains.
Saw you at the festival. Great job.
Thanks.
And PTN spends each and every day updating you on everything happening across the region.
Hey, I shared your post.
Thanks very much.
So watch us on cable, streaming, and online.
We love watching PTN.
Us too.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com. PTN is everywhere you are. We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Well, last year, Brianna Strunk ventured out to a couple Maple Tour locations, and she previewed that open house tour, which again is back this year, the middle of March. Enjoy.
Maple syrup production is big business in Pennsylvania, and there are plenty of sugar bushes right here in the Poconos. It's syrup season, and this month you're invited to an open house to see how the process is done locally. So today we're hitting a couple stops and giving you a preview. Come along. Journey's End Farm in Sterling has been in Andy Curtis's family since 1926. When spring is in the air, it's time to tap the maple trees.
We could spend a lot of time in the woods and see the woods wake up from winter.
And so far this season, weather conditions are ideal.
We only have about 3-4 inches of snow right now, but last year it was 2 feet and it was all on snowshoes. So you never know what you're going to get, whether you're going to have an easy tap or a hard one.
After strategically drilling holes in the trees, sap is collected in buckets and through this tubing system that leads to a big tank. Next, we venture here to see how sap becomes syrup.
Especially in the farming world, you choose the bits of technology that are going to make the most sense for you and for us. Doing it in a fairly traditional manner with a wood fire and no extra technology is the simplest and best for us.
Of course, we had to sample the finished product, which comes in different grades. It's very rich. It's very good. Journey's End Farm is one of 8 local producers participating in the Maple Open House Weekend, a self-guided tour you can take at your leisure.
The open house is something that's been going on for, I guess well over a decade now. And it's taken a couple different forms over the years. We're going to have 8 members spread across various counties in Northeast Pennsylvania. And you'll be able to attend each of these sugar houses and see how the operations vary amongst the producers.
The goal? To educate the public and potential hobbyists, since Pennsylvania is one of the country's top maple syrup producers.
Coming here and learning about these things, it not only grounds you in the sense that it shows you where your food is locally sourced and how it's produced, but it also gives you an idea of, hey, I might be able to do this, and on my property, I might have sugar maple or red maple, and I might be able to try this.
Over here in this room is our reverse osmosis machine.
Szymanski Maple Syrup in Waymart is another stop for the open house.
What makes us a little different than maybe some of the other stops is we've got a lot of technology we employ here because we do maple full time. It is our livelihood.
And Szymanski's has this new gift shop where you can buy pure syrup and a variety of maple-infused products like popcorn, candy, fudge, and body scrub.
So there's a lot to see here at Szymanski. If it can be made with maple, we've at least tried it.
Can't leave here without taking something home. Got my maple syrup, maple lotion. We're ready to go. From simple to sophisticated. The open house is all about tapping into a seriously sweet experience. And after a long winter, the slow drip of sap is a welcome sight. From tree to table, it is time to put this local syrup to work, and it sure looks delicious. For more information about the open house, including a pancake breakfast, you can visit wayneconservation.com. Once again, this event is scheduled for the 3rd weekend in March. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Spring may not arrive until mid-March, but the signs of spring are here with maple production underway at Pocono Mountains Maple Farm and various other locations on that tour happening in mid-March. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.